guys, welcome back to my channel. It's G from Happiness and Crafting. So today I'm going to do a quick flip through with my journal. Now this is carrying on from yesterday. I did this lovely sort of like different binding for me on my tool journal, and I'm loving it. Now I was going to do a few makes in this, but I got carried away and I finished it off because they were mowing the lawns and stuff outside, so I couldn't get a video done this morning. So I finished this instead. So I'll give you a flip through first in a minute of that. But first, I just want to make up. I had these scrappy bits of paper, and I've got my new kit, which is the Encyclopedia little papers, the flowers one, and some other bits. And I'm just making these little, well, it's like a double pocket. Really simple, great way to use up as well some of your scrap backing papers and things like that. It's got a little pocket here, and then we've got a little pocket here. I've actually made one and put one into the journal as well, so I thought I'd just make a couple more and just show you how simple it is. Now looking at it, you can see how I did it anyway, but I'm going to be making a eclectic journal, which will be my next journal, which I will be sort of like coming back and forth to and making. So I'm just going to take a scrap bit of paper. I am going to fold this in half. Actually, I'm going to find a little something that will go with it first, so it's not too dissimilar to it. We've got some lovely little butterflies on there. Maybe we should use that. Should we use these little butterflies? So we want one. We want it about this big. So we're just going to fold and make a little just like a little pocket. Now where's mine? I'm going to use my little guillotine from Journal Say, which I just absolutely love. I think it's fabulous because I used to have a tonic one, and for some reason I can't get another one. I don't know why, whether they discontinued making them or whether, you know, they just don't sell them here online. I can't get one anywhere, but this is just fabulous. Love it. So that's like a little pocket, not quite sure which way round. So that will just sort of sit on there. Very basic. Now I quite like going back to basic things like this, because they don't take very long to make, and if you are into doing sort of like mass making and things like that, this is just perfect. So I'm just going to ink around the edge like this, and because it's white inside, I'm just going to ink that little bit there, just so when I put that down you can, you know, see it's got a little bit of ink on, because I don't like white edges. I don't like white edges at all, unless I'm doing something that, you know, calls for a white edge. But I don't like where you can see you cut it, which I've told you many times. Right, I'm going to, these ones I've actually rounded the corners, and I quite like that, so I'm going to do that again. Just gives it a nice little edge, doesn't it? So this is a real no-brainer one, most definitely. So if you've got a little bit of paper beside you, there you are. You can just make this really quick and simple. Now the other thing I did, where's my glue? I got my little glue bottles. I got some new ones, the little tiny little ones that I had before. This one I have put in some tacky glue, the Aleene's tacky glue. This one I've got little labels on there, but I'm going to put proper labels on. This one I put some tacky glue in there because I'm finding this is a little bit too big for doing this stuff. And this one is, which I'm testing out, is Yoo-hoo glue, which is the pen one. But this one has got like a little dauber on the end, and it's too big. So I'm testing this one out as well. Let me just pop them out there. So I'm going to use this one like that. So I've just put it in there just so I've got a little bit of, you know, a nice thin line of glue down the edges, because a lot of these glues you don't need a lot. pop that down, squash that down like that. So yeah, I've not sort of tried the Yoo-hoo glue properly in the pen form. You see, that's just so simple, isn't it? So I thought I'd try this, see what it's like. It's just a card and paper glue anyway. I think sometimes glues are sort of much as the other one, aren't they? But I like glue. I like to test out some glues, different glues. But I need to put them, I've got my little mug here, just to put them upside down. That's it, that's it. So when I go to put them in other journals, I can add bits of lace, I can add other little bits and pieces, but we've got like a little pocket there, and then we've got a little pocket in here, like that, to pop a little card in. Let's go that way. Just I mean, you could put a paper clip on the back as well, so you could sort of like paper clip that. And then we've got like a pocket in on the inside. So I just think these are real sort of like quick, simple little make, aren't they? So I quite like this one. I wonder if we could have it a different way. Could you have it up this way? Let me just fold this in half. I think that's going to be too big then, isn't it? It's going to be too big for a journal. Do you think? Is that going to be too big for a journal page? Let's just fold that in half. Not really. If I cut it down a little bit, it needs to be cut down a little bit, I think. Because we need it sort of going this way, don't we? Let's just cut that down. Like that. So it's nice and neat. Oh, I did say yesterday in my last video how nice it is to come back into my craft room. And I'm just loving it. Now, we could probably almost do it like that. Or just like a little double pocket, couldn't we? Should we do this one just a little bit different? I might. Yes, I think we'll do this one like this. So we're just making some little double pockets. Quite simple. I'm gonna pop just a tiny little notch in there just to show that it is a pocket. Like that. And round the edges. So have you guys had lots of time to craft? Making journals, do you prefer, question for you now, do you prefer to make journals, or do you prefer to make sort of embellishment bits? So do you want me to make journals or sort of embellishments to go into journals? Do you find that the hardest thing to come up with, or do you want sort of like journal ideas? So I'm trying to sort of like see what you guys like and what you would like me to sort of show you what to do, or give you some ideas. Okay, so that's quite simple. That's pretty basic, isn't it, that one? But that looks really nice. So that could just go onto a page, and you could just glue the back just around that one. You can have another pocket behind it. So let's just glue this in. Which one was I using? So this tacky glue is quite difficult to take out, to come out of the little pot, because it's a lot thicker. But I do like this tacky glue, but it's a little bit thicker. If you find your other tacky glue, the white one, quite difficult to come out of your little bottles, if you sort of like pop it into little bottles, you can always add just a little bit of water, just to water it down, just to make it a little bit thinner. Not quite sure whether you can do it with a clear one, probably. So this is quite difficult to come out because it's just a little bit thicker. Got to squeeze a little bit harder. So I think I will go back to the Yoo-hoo glue, or the tacky glue, I think. So just glue down 3 sides and stick that on. There we go. Lovely. So just some little double pockets. I quite like these. Let's put that back in there. A little bit of scrap paper. Not that I need any scrap paper. I have got so much. Oh, that's a whole big piece, isn't it? What's this bit? Should we use this piece? Should we go down this way and make a couple of them? I don't want to make them too big. Should I take, oops, go down through here. Okay, let's have a little one like that, couldn't we? All of these are just beautiful. I love them. I love these. These are definitely calling to go onto the front of journals, aren't they? Those are definitely, that's pretty. That's a pretty one. Well, that's the smaller version. Maybe we'll use one of these. Let's take that one and use that one. And that one. Right. Pop this on, pop this through. Chop that down, look at that. Lovely, that's that one. And then we can do this one. Like that. Super simple. Do I have a little something to go on here? Let me have a look. Oh, I've got wisteria, that's nice. That's a lovely one. What have we got? I've got this little one here. Maybe we could... It's not quite small enough. But then I don't want anything too small, I suppose, because we're not going to put anything in it, are we? That's a little bit too small. Let's just make these two for a minute. And then I will do a little flip through. I think I might keep this one square on the corners. But like I said, once they're going to go into my other journal, I can embellish them with a little bit of lace or fabric or anything like that. Okay, let's do this one. Colour the inside. So yeah, like I said, great for using up your stash, or not your stash, using up all your scrap paper, isn't it? Get rid of all the scrap paper because I'm desperately trying to get rid of it. That's why I'm going to do an eclectic journal, because I can use things that I've got that will sort of like go in anything. Use up some bits and pieces. There we go. Have you guys found a different ink that you like to use, or do you still stick with the Distress ink, the brown one, the Vintage Photo? I think this is a very well loved colour ink. So it'd be quite interesting. Do you use it? Do you use any other inks? I have been starting to use some of the inks that I got from Journal Say as well, which are quite nice. So just ink. Yeah, it was so noisy here this morning that I couldn't get to do a video because the gardening, they were gardening, and it was so loud, it felt like it was right outside the window, but it wasn't. There we go. Okay, but that's okay. We are here now. What shall we use? I'm going to use the tacky glue. Again, if you wanted to, you could have another pocket on here. These are just sort of like double pockets. We like a little pocket, or I like to make little pockets. Oops. Stick that down, stick that down. Okay, well, I still haven't moved my room around. Still got a nice big gap. I really do need to move it around. But I know as soon as I start moving it, all my stuff's going to get moved and it's just going to be a big mess. So I'm sort of putting it off really. Right, did it matter which way these go? I think they're both pretty much the same, aren't they? Pretty much the same size. There we go. Squeeze, there we go. I'll pop a link down to these little bottles because they're really good. It makes such a difference in gluing down your work without getting great big blobs of glue on top of everything. See, that actually just in a pocket would be quite nice, wouldn't it? I do like these. Well, the house is still very quiet without the girls here. It's taking a little bit longer than I thought to get used to. There we go. But they are back to school, I think, next week. But yes, very quiet household. Right guys, that's it, very, very simple, very basic, but like I said, I quite like going back to the more basic things, using up some bits and pieces. So just double pockets, and you can pop a little paper clip if you need to on the back of those. That's one that can just sit on the page, which has got 2 pockets. Very, very simple. Little one there, little smaller one. That's not one. This one with the butterflies we just did, and this one with the crocus. I like this one with the crocus on it. I think that's really nice. So there we go, a little bundle to go in my stash at the state of my table. Okay, I am going to show you the journal now. Talking about my table, I'm going to, I was telling my lovely YouTube members that I'm changing my table cover. Not drastically, but this has got, you probably can't see it, but it's got lumpy bumpy glue, resin, all sorts of bits and pieces on. So I bought this one from Amazon, so I'm going to be doing that. I wanted to do it this week at some point, but whether I get around to it I don't know, but I quite like that. It's got a really nice sort of like rustic look to it. So that's going to be a little project for me. Probably do it in the evening actually, we shall see. Right guys, this is the finished journal. Let's make some room. I loved this. I think it's really, really nice, and it's really, really flexible without being floppy, if you know what I mean. And I love it. I just love it. Now I haven't put anything on the back or the front because I want it to go onto my shelf so I see the spine. I didn't actually put anything on the front or the back. Not that it needs it, because it looks pretty collaged, doesn't it? I think it looks beautiful. I love it. I'm going to move these bits out of the way. Okay, so the closure, I did some little pinch clips on there with a little bit of chain and a very, very simple little pearls on there. So they are just so pretty. Little pearly dangle. So it's just a little pinch clip either side, opened up. I've sort of like done it a little bit lower. I haven't actually done it sort of halfway, which I suppose would be a little higher. I've done it a little bit sort of lower, which I quite like. So opening it up, we have got the front bit. We have a little pocket here. I've got a little, this is a piece of lace with a little butterfly on. This one I've just popped a little bit of velvet ribbon down there and a little bit of lace down through here. Can you see this just opens up really flat and it just sits there? Yeah, I just love it. I'm definitely going to be making a different one. Maybe not a tall one, but a different normal size one. This is a little pocket, and again this has got some journal say bits and pieces on it. This is a little, did I show you? I think I've shown you how to do these. Very, very simple. I don't know. I've got like a little template here. This is the template that I used. It's just a scrap of paper. And I popped that down like that. Got my little inky dauber and then just went around the outside like that. Just all the way around the outside. And you're left with a lovely lighter bit in here. And this is dark on the outside. And then I've just done little lines across there. And that's just done with a pencil. So, can you see? Really, really simple. And it gives a really nice effect as well, I think. A little bit of, these are from the journal say, and these are bits of sticky paper and some fabric on there. This one I've just used a little bit of washi tape on there, and that's all I've put on there. And I've got two little pockets here. They got some little bits and pieces in. Got that one that side and that one there, and a few little flowers on there, a little cluster here, and then I've done this again. I've used the same one of these, and then what I did to make it smaller, instead of cutting out lots of different templates, what I did, I put it like that and then rubbed it around, and then I put it this way so I could see, popped that on top like that, and then did that side, and then we've got the smaller one. So instead of cutting lots of little bits out as templates, I've just used the same one. This side I've got a little up tuck on here, and then I've got a couple of little journal cards, so that just tucks up through there. This is a little pocket. I did a little bit of collage on here. We've got another little pocket in there, nice little bit of blingy fabric on there. This one I've got a little paper clip. This opens out. I just stapled a little bit of velvet ribbon to this little pocket before I stuck it on, and then I've just got two little bits in there. Pulls out just a little bit of to journal on, and they just pop in there. That folds up, and then I've just popped a little paper clip on there, which is great. This side we've got a little fabric pocket and a lovely big sort of journaling card. I do like this one. I think it's the colour on there that I like. So that's that one. This one I've done a little bit of collaging on here with some little flowers. This is a bit of a postcard, and then I've put one of my, this is from the Encyclopedia, from the Sea Life one. And that's lovely. I think that just goes in there really nicely too. Turn it over. Again, I've done one of these. These I put throughout the journal, which I think look really nice. And then I've just added a little perfume bottle to this one and to this one as well. So these are just really nice little journaling spots without sort of like hiding them or doing anything. I think it looks really nice. This one I've got a little pocket, took a little pocket there, and that's just made out of some little layered up bits of lace and shiny sort of like fabric on there. We've got a little bit of lace there and some little dangly bits there. So that's a little corner pocket. This one here, I have just popped a little teacup and a butterfly. So this butterfly goes onto both pages. Can you see? I've stuck this side down and the tip of the wing and just the bottom of your teacup. So that slides in and holds that in place like that. So that's not going anywhere. So instead of a pocket, I didn't want to cover this up because it looked too nice. So I've just sort of like slid it in. And then on the back, I sewed around it, and I just sewed an extra bit of paper in the back just so we can stick a little journaling card in there so it's hidden. So that goes in there, tucks up in there like that, which I think looks really lovely. This side I've just popped a bit of washi tape on there, so that's just like a little flip. So you can write under there and write under there, or stick a photo or something on there. This one again, I have done the same thing with the template. We've got a lovely little cluster up there, nice little sparkly cluster. Not quite sure how well you can see, but we've got a nice little sparkly cluster on there, and then one of my little fuzzy cuts on here. I'll pop, if I remember, the journal kits that I've used, and then I've glued this bit down on this one so that we got a little tuck in there, which is nice. And again, all I've done on this, if it's the first time, I really should have explained, I've just done it with one piece of paper folded in half, and I got through embellishing the journal pretty quickly. I think it just worked so well. And look at this, I've got the sea otters on this one. I couldn't resist this one, popping this one in the journal. And I've just put some recycled paper on the back and sewed around it. Look at those, they're just so lovely, aren't they? And just paper clip that up. A little bit of a fabric clustery bit there, which I've actually stapled on. Oh, this is the big one. This is the big version of these, like that. So this one I have got I've got a long one. This one's a lot longer. Turn it over, and that's the little pocket at the back, like that. So that goes in there. I haven't popped anything in there yet, and I've just paper clipped that up to there. But I think that fills the page. I think that looks really nice. And then I popped one of my little flowers on there. This one I haven't put anything on this page. I have just popped a little bit of lace down the side. This one I have done a little pocket here, so this is like a little side pocket like that. I popped a little bit of washi tape on the bottom. Again, I've made another little template on here with a little bit of velvet and a flower. And again, this side I did on this one, I've actually dotted around here with one of my little silver pens. Can you see it's got a little bit of sparkle? And this ink, I actually picked up the wrong ink dauber, so it came out a little bit darker, but it came out sort of like a purpley colour. So this is why I've added this butterfly, because it sort of like blends in really well, don't you think? Sort of matches really well. And then I've got one of my little boho ladies on there, fussy cuts. And then I thought we'd pop a little bit about the dolphins on there. So that's a nice little encyclopedia, and it's got all about the dolphins. And I thought, because she's sort of like a boho chicy, how did I put that in like that? I didn't want to hide the dolphin. I thought she would go with the dolphin. This side I've got a little perfume bottle as a little pocket, and a lovely little seahorse on there, or 3 or 4 seahorses that can just sit in there. This is a little journal. I've actually glued this to the page like that. So I've got like 4 sheets. I've just taken one A4 sheet of coffee stain paper and just torn it into 4 And that's that bit. So very, very simple, and I think it looks really good, doesn't it? This side I have got some journaling cards. I didn't want to cover this up because I like this page. I think that looks really nice. So I've just popped a few journaling cards in there with the paper clip on that side, like that. This one I've got a little pocket. This is a postcard that I just folded in half. I made a pocket this side and a little tuck spot that side. So if you've got sort of ephemera that's a little bit too long, bend it over your pages and make a couple of little sort of pockets with them. So I think that looks good too, doesn't it? Little fabric pocket, a little bit of lace and bits and pieces, a couple of little cards. I've stuck the pockets down, these ones with, I think it was 3-in-1, the fabric. This is another little one from the Encyclopedia. This is all about lavender. And these have got marks on anyway, but I folded it and then inked it just a little bit more. I've just folded that over like that and then propped it, you know, over the page and clicked that on with a little paper clip. This side I have just got another little flippy flappy, which has just got a bit of washi tape down that side, washi tape down that side, and you can journal underneath in there. So I think that's really good. And I've left this one so you can journal on this page as well. This has got like a little up tuck, so that just tucks up. We've got a little teacup on there, and then I've just popped a little daffodil in there. So this is sort of like a little yellowy page, isn't it? Which is nice. Turn over. I've left this to journal on here and added some little fabric bits up there. And then the back page, I've made a little pocket. I've layered up some fabric and some lace on there and popped in a beautiful journal card in there. So guys, that's it. But when you're opening it up, it lays really, really flat. Can you see? It's just, you know, by doing it with that spine, it just fabulous. I absolutely do love it, and it was so nice. It was such a pleasure to decorate as well. Really simple, because sometimes I like to decorate my pages first before I actually sew them in, because I find it quite difficult because they get really lumpy bumpy and you can't open your journals. But this one just opened up with each page really, really lovely and flat. Now if you didn't see how I made this, I will pop the link to the video underneath, but I'm just loving it. So I hope you're going to give it a go, and if you do, don't forget to pop a picture of it in the Facebook group. And look at that, nice little pretty little pearls on there. So there we go guys, little flip through, quick little simple make, which these are just great, aren't they? Very, very easy to do, and a great one to pop in your stash. So there we go guys, we'll have a fab rest of the day. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you soon. All right guys, bye bye.